YouTube, good afternoon, good afternoon. We got a fun-packed episode for you today. Today we're going through some sports world. Last week we had the World Series, some college football, and some crazy NBA action for you guys. With the LA Dodgers, we're going to start with the LA Dodgers. They won Game 7 in historic fashion. Game 7 went to 11 innings with LA coming on top to become the first repeat champions in 25 years. It was some crazy storylines attached to it. We're going to get into all of that. It was an absolute one for the history books between Yamamoto pitching some complete games in the World Series that hasn't been done in a while with the rookie pitcher for the Toronto. He would have, I believe, 14 strikeouts in a row, and that would be the most by a rookie pitcher in the World Series. So it was some crazy storylines attached to this game. As you know, Shohei Ohtani, he was putting on an absolute clinic against Toronto. It got so bad to the point where Toronto just started walking him. They said, you know what? We're going to prevent you from hitting home runs, and the way we're going to do that is we're just going to put you on base. Make sure that you don't continue to hit home runs against us. So it was an absolute showing. Some of the storylines attached to this game, as you know, Magic Johnson is one of the owners of the LA Dodgers, and I believe Magic Johnson has 16 world titles now. 16. He has one NCAA title. He has 5 as a Lakers player. He has 5 as a Lakers owner. He has 1 as a LA Sparks owner. 3 as a World Series owner of the Dodgers, and he has 1 MLS Cup with the LAFC, if I'm not mistaken. So Magic Johnson, he shows that he is at the top of his game as an owner. You also have Will Smith. Will Smith has won 6 straight World Series, dating all the way back to 2019, if I'm not mistaken. He's got 3 with the Dodgers, 1 with the Astros, and he just continues to show that he can bring a winning culture to that locker room. You got Yamamoto and Ohtani. As you know, two or 3 years ago, they won the World of Baseball Classic. They teamed up in LA the year after that. They won the title, and then they just went back to back. So it is a great showing for baseball. This was a huge World Series for the MLB, and they continue to show why baseball can be exciting during the playoffs. So you're gonna see me more tapped into baseball. You're gonna see me more tapped into baseball next season. Not when it starts, but as the season starts to heat up, as they get into the playoff race. I'm gonna be covering a little bit more of the baseball game. But now we're going to get into our favorite part of the day. We're going to get into some college football. College football has some great games this weekend. Let's start with an overview of games before we get into the AP Top 10. Both Ohio State and Indiana dominated their opponents for a combined winning total of nearly 70 points. Indiana, I believe that they won their game by 40 points, and then Ohio State won their game by 20 points. It was a little scary for Ohio State as they've only allowed 12 points in the first half against all of their games leading up into this Penn State game, but they did allow 14 points from Penn State in that first half. So it was a little shaky, but Ohio State would have come out on top. In that game, Julian Sain would only have 3 incompletions with 4 touchdowns. So he would definitely be our top performer of the day, top performer. Julian Sain would go 20 for 23, 316 yards and 4 touchdowns. He averaged 15 yards a pass. Julian Sain is now in the front runner seat for the Heisman Trophy winner. So Julian Sain continues to put on a clinic against these teams and continues to show why Ohio State is really going to be a contender. Bo Jackson, he put up a good $105. So they're not only was their passing game clicking, but their running game was clicking as well. Indiana, they beat Maryland 55-10. Malik Washington, he'd be the passing leader, but Francisco Mendoza, he's efficient. He just gets the job done. Next, you got number 5. They beat Florida with Gunner having over 200 yards and 2 TDs. You got number 7, Ole Miss. They closed the door on the possibility of South Carolina ruining their season. As you know, South Carolina is not in the playoff running, but with South Carolina being in the SEC and all of these teams in the SEC being ranked, South Carolina is looking to ruin some of the chances that these other teams have. So South Carolina is going to continue to try to get after these teams, ruin their playoff hopes, and get another loss in their column. But Ole Miss was able to shut them down. They would win that game 30-14 with Lenore Sellers going for 180 and Kewan Lacey going for 167. You had four huge upsets for the playoff picture with Miami and Georgia Tech both losing to unranked teams. You got number seven Vandy. They lost to number 20 Texas, and number 14 Tennessee lost to number 18 Oklahoma. So definitely some good upsets this weekend. Definitely some good playoff pictures that will kind of be reframed from this weekend. As we know, the college football playoff pictures, the start of that was just put out yesterday, Wednesday the 5th, and we're going to get into some of that later. I hadn't taken notes on it yet, so we'll kind of look at that as a group. So we'll look at that first time a little bit later in the episode. For the AP Top 10, the numbers 1 through 7 did not change. You got Ohio State at 1, Indiana at 2, Texas A&M at 3, Alabama 4, Georgia 5, 6, Oregon, 7, Ole Miss, and then BYU jumped up to that number 8 spot. They were previously, I believe, number 14, if I'm not mistaken. Their only ranked win is against Utah right now. And then that number 9 spot is Texas Tech. They also only have one ranked win, and that is against Utah as well. And both those teams played this weekend. So the Texas Tech BYU game has some very good implications on where playoff seeding is going to go. It's going to show which team is really prepared to make it into that college playoff. BYU is only averaging what BYU does not average as much as Texas Tech's offense is, so BYU's defense is going to have to step up this game. Texas Tech averages about 43 points a game right now on nearly 300 passing yards, so BYU's defense is going to have to carry them throughout this game for them to be successful against this Texas Tech offense. Looking at some of the games coming up for this week, you got number 8 BYU at number 9 Texas, and the only other ranked matchup is number 3 Texas A&M at number 19 Missouri. And as you know, Missouri is going to try to ruin those playoff hopes for that number 3 Texas A&M team. So that's going to be an interesting, sneaky game for this weekend. Missouri is going to look to upset that Texas A&M team and really kind of get it out. So looks like with the playoff picture just going out yesterday on the 4th. I'm sorry, it went out the 4th at 8:15. You got the number 1 through 4 seeds: Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M, and Alabama. They would all be on bye weeks during that first round. The first round matchups would be number 9 Oregon at number 8 Texas Tech, number 12 Memphis at number 5 Georgia, number 11 Cavaliers versus the number 6 Ole Miss Rebels, and then number 10 at number 7 BYU Cougars. So this is going to be an interesting playoff picture. I like how they started with this 12-team bracket. I like how it looks. Oregon and Texas Tech, whoever wins that game faces that number 1 Ohio State team. And I think as long as Ohio State comes and ready to play, I think that they will clean sweep all the way to that championship game. Alabama, as we know, they are battle tested. They have faced the most ranked teams out of all the teams in college right now. They played 4 straight ranked games in 5 weeks. So number 4 Alabama is not to be slept on. They would face the winner of the Memphis Tigers and number 5 Georgia. As you know, Alabama has beat Georgia already earlier this year. I easily see the Ole Miss Rebels finishing off the Virginia Cavaliers, and then Texas A&M would go at Ole Miss, and then the Fighting Irish versus the BYU Cougars. And yes, we have the Notre Dame looking like that they're a good playoff team right now, but their 2 losses right now are to Miami and Texas A&M, both ranked teams at the time. So as you know, BYU lost to Texas A&M, so I don't think that Notre Dame is going to make a deep run in the playoff. It all depends how they come out against that number 24 Pitt team, and Notre Dame and Navy game is always going to be an interesting showing. So It's some definitely gives some interesting games that we got going on, and it'll be I'm excited to see. I wonder how often they come out with this playoff bracket. Oh, it'll be released each Tuesday until the final end of the season. The final set of rankings will be released on December 7th, and those rankings will determine the final 12 team bracket. So keep your eyes peeled. It is a month from tomorrow. It is a month from tomorrow where we get that final playoff bracket picture, and we'll be doing a lot of episodes. Thank you guys for tuning in. I know haven't been putting up as much content as I used to recently, but we had been going through a moving situation. So I got me a new place. We are in our own studio in the basement currently. So stay tuned for more content, more game reviews, more Cavaliers live, and all types of things going on with the channel. Now we're gonna briefly get into the NBA. We're gonna get into it briefly because we're gonna do a longer episode later in the week, and we had some pretty good WNBA games over the weekend. We're just gonna do a quick overhaul on Saturday. Between Saturday and Monday, we had some great showings. We had AR, he put up a 50-point game. Devin Booker had a 40-point game. AR had another 40-point game. Luka averaging a triple double going into the season. So the real question is, who is going to give OKC their first loss, right? OKC is currently 8-0 right now from NBA Wednesday, Oklahoma. Oh, looks like Portland gave Oklahoma their first loss last night. So, OKC no longer 8-0. There's your answer right there. Portland gave OKC their first loss. That's actually surprising. I didn't see Portland coming on top for that game. As you know, Portland is currently 5-3, so they are looking like a pretty good team right now. Looks like they lost to their first game, their third game, and then against the Lakers. So against the Lakers, the Lakers are looking very good this year. Lakers starting out 6-3, if I'm not mistaken. So with AR and Luka both averaging almost 40 points and a triple double game, they're definitely going to be a contender for the rest of the year. And as you know, Cleveland put BTA to Philly last night, 132 to 121. Donovan Mitchell with a 46-point bomb. That was a very interesting game because after the game, Donovan Mitchell said he was fueled by a kid that he was playing 2K with. The kid on 2K said that Donovan Mitchell's game was watched, and Donovan Mitchell said, "Oh, watch, you'll see tonight. You'll see from the highlights how good that I really am." So Donovan Mitchell put on a showing fueled by a kid that he was playing 2K with. So I just find that highly entertaining, highly entertaining. So definitely some good things happening all around the NBA league this year. Houston is currently 4-2 with their only loss to the best team in the NBA, which is OKC, and they also lost to the Pacers. These were the first two games of the season before they had kind of figured out who they were. This is then the other. Houston right now is second in points average per game, while also being second in the rebounding game with that tall lineup. As you know, Amon Thompson at the one at 6'7". Everybody else on the team is 6'11" right now. They're averaging almost 50 rebounds a game, but their biggest problem right now is they're averaging 15 turnovers. 15 turnovers. So if they can cut those turnovers down to about 9, 10, they'd be averaging almost 134 points a game, which would set an NBA record for the most points averaged by an NBA team. So excited to see Houston. Excited to see what they can bring to the table this year with all those tall guards. At the bottom of the league right now, we have Atlanta, Dallas, Brooklyn, and New Orleans. These are four of the five worst scoring teams in the league, all averaging 111 per game. Every team in the NBA except these five are averaging more than 112 points per game. The only upside I see from any of these teams is the Dallas Mavericks. As you know, Anthony Davis is out, so once Anthony Davis comes back, once Cooper Flag starts to find his own in the NBA, once he starts to find how he's going to score, once he finds how he's going to facilitate the offense, I can see some upside in Cooper Flag, but he is no VJ Edgecombe. As you know, VJ Edgecombe is going nuclear right now in Philadelphia. I have him winning the Rookie of the Year right now. We still have to review some of his highlights from his Baylor days that I'm going through. I want to review some of his highlights. I want to review some Cooper Flags highlights. I want to make sure that I bring some good information for the table about how they played in college, as well as how their game is going to fit into the NBA. And as a sneaky team right now, Miami, I did not see Miami being the threat that they are right now. They're currently 4-4 right now. They are a decent scoring team, averaging 123 points per game right now. That is third in the league, and with a 4-4 record, they don't have Tyler here yet, but some of their key role players are stepping up. So that's really why Miami is looking so good with their role players stepping up, and Bam Adebayo averaging what 25 and 11, if I'm not mistaken. Bam has an opportunity to really show that he can lead this team to that next level, but once they get Tyler Hero back, they're gonna start clicking on the next level. Yeah, he's averaging 20 and 8 right now, so 45% from the field. So once they get Tyler Hero back, they will be a force to reckon with, especially with being third in the league in scoring, and they don't have their best scoring. And lastly, I'm gonna go over my two favorite teams right now. This comes to no surprise. You got the LA Lakers and you got the San Antonio Spurs. I was listening to a podcast and they were arguing whether AR and Luka are the two best backcourts in the NBA right now, and that is definitely something that can be argued. With LA having Austin Reeves averaging almost 40 points per game right now. You know, he turned down a contract earlier this year. He really bet on himself, and he is looking like a max contract player, averaging 31, fifth in the league right now, while still averaging 9 assists. That is fourth in the league right now. So, hey, I mean, if he averages this all season, that is the MVP season, honestly. And then you got Luka. He's averaging almost a 40-point triple double, 40 points, 11 rebounds, and 9 assists. He is not on the leaderboards because he hasn't played in enough games yet, but they're definitely a force to be reckoned with. And then lastly, it's a tie between the Spurs and the Philadelphia 76ers. I love what Tyrese Maxey is doing right now. He is currently first in the league for points average with 33.5 and 8.5 assists. He is really taking a hold of this offense, especially with Joel Embiid having minutes restriction. Tyrese Maxey is showing that this is his team. He is going to take that to that next level, and then pair with VJ Edgecombe and his athleticism and everything that he's got going on. VJ Edgecombe averaging 17 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. So that's a pretty good stat line to have. If I'm not mistaken, LeBron in his rookie year averaged 14, 5 and 5. If I'm not mistaken, so that is definitely nothing to sneeze at, right? So keep an eye on VJ Edgecombe, their one rookie of the year. For him to have rookie year stats like that, yeah, LeBron, his rookie year, he averaged 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. So VJ Edgecombe is on track to beat that if he has some more All Star games, some more All Star appearances, and continues to get the ball and really find his own rhythm with his cut to the lane, with his mid-range ability, and with that 3-point shooting ability. But I couldn't get on here and not talk about the historic run that Victor Wembanyama is on right now. He is 12th in the league in scoring, and yeah, that might not sound that great, but when you're 12th in the league in scoring, second in rebounds per game at 14, and first in the league in blocks with almost 5 per game, that is a force to be reckoned with. Every time the Spurs play, it is must see TV, must see TV. As you know, LA just played the Spurs last night. Let's see who won that game. Spurs, Los Angeles. Los Angeles won that game 118 to 116. So Austin Reeves, how many points did Austin Reeves have that game? Let's see. Spurs. Looks like Luka Doncic, he'd have 35 on 9 of 27 for his shooting. Victor Wembanyama, he'd have 10 points. Austin Reeves was out this game with I believe, foot injury. So looks like the Lakers bench kind of stepped up. Luka, he would have 31 points. Rui, he'd have 15 points. DeAndre Ayton, 22 points. and Marcus Smart would have 17 points, but only go 3 for 10 from the field. Jake Laveria, he would only go 3 for 9 from the field. So looks like some high volume shooting from the Lakers. Looks like they got to get some more shots going in, but Luka is on an absolute tear right now, and I'm kind of glad LA won that game. I want to see LA make a deep run. I want to see them continue to improve. But on a last note, our Cavaliers are 5-3 right now with that win over Philly last night. Cavaliers, they're not looking half bad. They're not looking half bad. I've caught a couple of their games, and my biggest problem with the Cavaliers right now is their ability to have ball handlers on the floor. Right? Yes, I know we got one of the Ball brothers, Lonzo Ball, but he is on game by game basis. He can't play in any back to backs due to his injury, and we know Donovan Mitchell can score, right? But who is going to be that second option? We need Evan Mobley to make sure that he's on top of his game. We need Jared Allen to make sure that he's on top of his game. We need Sam Merrill to be on top of his game. We need DeAndre Hunter to be on top of his game. We need DeAndre Hunter to really find his footing in the offense and start hitting those 3 point shots. I was watching a game I think last Friday and he was 2 for 9 from the three. So we need to make sure that he is knocking down those shots, playing that good defense, and continuing to space the floor for those two twin towers down at the back. So with what is his name? Darius Garland. With Darius Garland back, I am not worried about that offense. Darius Garland, he's got to knock the rust off, but hopefully Darius Garland can make a deep run into the playoffs. We every year we get into a good spot in the playoffs. This man goes down with injury, so when you're a max contract player, you got to be available during the off season. I'm tired of seeing Darius Garland take a back seat in the off season and not really take ownership of the Cleveland Cavaliers. I want to see both Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland be that force to be reckoned with Darius Garland's playmaking ability and Donovan Mitchell's ability to make shots. So look forward to it. We are going to be live on Saturday and Monday. Saturday we got a Cavs game. We're going to stream that on YouTube. Sunday we'll be reacting to all the college football games. And then Monday we're going to be live for the Cavaliers game as well. On Friday, Cavaliers play Washington. And then on Monday, Cavaliers play Miami. So make sure you tap into that Cleveland Miami game. That is going to be a good one of two powerhouse offenses to make sure that we see what's on top. Stay tuned for that college football. Stay up to date. Make sure you turn those notifications on and make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys for tuning in.